Good morning in the city of Abuja. Welcome to Politics and Business TV. My name is Miracle Ubi. This is the morning show. It's always a pleasure having you join us every day as we discuss critical topics and things that actually concerns you and concerns me in the country. You're welcome to the morning show, and it's a wonderful Saturday morning. How is the Saturday going? Some persons are already having their Saturday workout and probably doing one or two laundry out there. You're welcome to the show. We have something quite interesting on our table today to handle, to deal with. It's a pressing issue. It's something every Nigerian wants to know. What will this fund recovery, be used for? We're going to discuss it on the U.S. government returns $52.88 million back to the country. This was traced from the account of the former Minister of Petroleum and Resource in person of Alison Madrizi. I'm sure you don't want to miss the story. I'm sure you're so interested to know what conspired and how the anti-corruption of our country and also the cooperation of the international agency has helped to secure or to retrieve this funds and what it will be used for. Before we go on, I'm not alone in the studio, or rather, I'm alone in the studio, but I won't be handling this topic alone. We'll have a guest who will be joining us live on Zoom, someone from the ICPC, so you don't want to miss out from that. Just stay with us. But before we go on our topic, let's just discuss what happened briefly, what's trending on social media. Alright, I went into this topic. The Edo Task Force sacks official caught on tape struggling for car steering with a driver. We know that this is something that has always happened. This is not the first time it's happening. It has always occurred several times where you see probably the state's public response safety team struggling with driver, and then this happened 2 days ago in Edo State, where the driver was really pleading and was asking the public response safety team personnel to please have mercy on them because they are driving. It's not for his sake, but for the lives of those in the vehicle. But the good news is that from the other states, he came out and made a public apologizing for what happened as a person of Okombo. He said that the approach of the officer was wrong, noting that the PRST was not the enemy of drivers. They are there for the safety of drivers. They are there to secure the things that are happening on the road. So they are not the enemies of drivers. And well, we trust that this would serve as an example to every other PRST staff or member out there struggling the steering of a driver. It's too risky. Imagine something had happened. Imagine the boat lost control and the driver lost control and there's a head-on collision. What will happen? And their lives in that vehicle. So we are grateful that something like this has been done to serve as a warning to every other PRST staff. So we'll be going on a very short break due to our time. When we come back, we'll be handling our topic for today, and our guest is actually ready for us, and I'm sure you are ready for us too. So please don't go anywhere, just stay with us. We will be right back after the short break. Alright, welcome back from that break. We had a little bit of technical issue which has been sorted out. Joining us for this interesting topic today, the U.S. government returns $52.88 million, which was traced to the account of a former Minister of Petroleum Resources, in person of Alison Maduro AZ. And we are so glad that you are still with us. Joining us via a phone call is Mr. Mohammed Ashiru Baba, who is a retired Director of Public Enlightenment Education, ICPC. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Glad to be on board.
It's really our pleasure having you join this very sensitive topic, and many Nigerians and our audience out there are actually worried and not so worried per se. They are excited about this return, the discovery or the return of this amount, and they are also concerned about if the funds will be used according to what it has been said it will be used. But sir, can you give us an insight into the circumstances surrounding the return of the $52.88 million by the U.S. government, and how this development fits into the ICPC's broader efforts to combat corruption?
Well, my name is Mohammed Ashiru Baba. I retired from the service of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a Director of Public Enlightenment and Education. Therefore, I must begin by saying that whatever I say in this platform by way of conversation should be my own opinion and not the opinion of ICPC and not the opinion of that of the views of any government agency.
Okay, sir.
I'm a free person. I'm speaking as a free Nigerian, free citizen with the right to air his own views about national issues. Now, going ahead with your question, the $52.8 million just repatriated to Nigeria by the U.S. government, I think we should be happy. We should congratulate the federal government that we are gradually getting there. I mean, getting all the monies laundered by our past leaders, even our present leaders, back to the country. But then, if you ask me, $52.8 million is just a tip of the iceberg. I mean, compared to the humongous billions of naira, trillions of naira that have been stashed, by corrupt leaders in this country in recent times. So, but all the same, I think it's a progress somehow. According to the U.S. government, Bezani and cohorts actually awarded fake contracts and were able to misappropriate the funds and then use the funds, in buying houses and shields, in around California in the U.S. So now that has been discovered, that is in the U.S. alone. So we are expecting that the government should also look at what the woman has in the UK. And in my opinion, I think what she should be having in the UK should be a lot more than what has been repatriated, to Nigerian government. That $52.8 million translates to just about 83 billion naira, which in quantum is just comparable to what Nigerians were able to report to EFCC and ICPC, through the Freedom of Information Act 2006, between 2006 and 2023, as disclosed by the Minister of Finance. So it's just about that amount discovered through the Freedom of Information. That is internally. So it's just a tip of the iceberg. As far as I'm concerned, the woman has a lot more, especially in the UK. Look at the recent discovery also of $153 million by EFCC, and 80 assorted assets, all belonging to Desiani in this country. I mean, that is to tell you that there is a lot more to be discovered, belonging to this woman. So Nigerian government should intensify effort in discovering much more, especially monies said to be stashed abroad by this woman. If I look at it the other way, I am a little bit apprehensive actually as to while I congratulate the Nigerian government, especially the office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, I am very apprehensive regarding the utilization of the funds. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like America giving us with the right hand and taking it back with the left hand. According to information or agreement signed last Friday, the part of the money will go to the World Bank for World Bank to utilize in providing rural electricity in Nigeria. And part of it will go to the International Institute of Justice.
Yes.
I mean,
I was going to throw some questions along that same light. Like, why? There are other pending issues in Nigeria that we feel this money should be used for, but why that?
Exactly. That's why I'm a bit apprehensive. That's why I say, well, it's kudos that we are making effort to recover monies stolen by our leaders, yes, but then, are we still under slavery? Are we still under colonial regime that America has to dictate to us what to do with our own money discovered? At worst, if they want to, they could charge us some kind of tax, you understand, out of that money. But to say part of the money will go to World Bank for World Bank to provide electricity, you are telling us that the money is going back to America. Because World Bank is under the United Nations and there is no United Nations except America. So what they are telling us is that we have recovered $52.3 million belonging to you, Nigeria, stolen by one Diziani when she was the Minister of Petroleum Resources, but we are not going to give you back. That is the simple message.
Well, Muhammad, good morning again to you. To me, I believe there is something fishy within our federal government and this money. To me,
I want to believe that too.
Yes, because I don't see a reason why the Americans should decide or dictate where and how we should, use the money.
Exactly.
So we should do more investigations and we should try to see what exactly is going on, because you don't have any rights. Are you saying indirectly or neo-colonialism, or what are we trying to do, like you said earlier?
Exactly. Are we still being colonized by the foreign countries or Western nations? Why should our leaders succumb to this kind of riches? I mean, this kind of pressure, this kind of untoward, suggestions to the point of signing an agreement to that effect. I begin to wonder. So there's a lot of explanations Nigerian government has to make to convince the general public that that money is not really being re-laundered by people in power right now. I mean, a lot of explanations Nigerian government or the Nigerian people regarding the utilization of these funds. It doesn't really add up. It doesn't fly to say that part of that money, even though to me is a small amount of money, just about 83 billion naira, it doesn't add up to say that World Bank is World Bank. It takes World Bank to provide rural electricity for Nigeria. Don't we have agencies that can provide? We have rural electricity projects agencies in this country. Don't we have the capacity to provide rural electricity for ourselves until we go back to UN? So to me, something is fishy.
Let's quickly go into a little bit history on this same path. This is not the first time our governments also they've tried to recover some looted money. That happen to be from the past leaders of our country. Example is the one that we all know. They call it Abacha loan. And with that, if any has as a stakeholder, that you have, do we have any reasonable information that so far the money that was recovered from Abacha loan were well properly used to what is going to benefit the humanity of our country? You should have more information about that.
Thank you very much. To put the record straight, in 2020, 300 million US dollars was returned by the same America to Nigeria from the so-called Abacha loot. Even though we had some arguments, in the defense of the late president or head of state, that what we were calling loot was not loot, it was monies, paid to technical partners, for capacity building, for whatever, because that time Nigeria was not in the good hands of good books of foreign partners like US, whatever, but that is neither here nor there. What is important is that 300 million US dollars was repatriated to Nigeria under the name of the Abacha loot by the same American government in the year 2020. Well, good enough. But like you said, Nigerians are still asking questions. In fact, I am also asking questions, really. What impact have these repatriated laundered monies made so far on the lives of the ordinary Nigerians? So far, all this repatriation, people are just hearing about millions, billions repatriated into Nigeria without seeing the impact. As a matter of fact, this beholds on the federal government to explain to the public and show even physically what all these monies that are being returned to Nigeria are being utilized for. It is not within the purview of ICPC, even though I have retired, like I said, to discuss Abacha loot or Diziani loot or whatever. It's being handled directly by the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. But that is not to say that ICPC does not have the power to pursue money said to be snatched by any Nigerian, but it has to go through some due process with the collaboration of the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. So all these recoveries and all these repatriation were done through in collaboration with by the Office of the Attorney General. I congratulate the Ministry of Justice, yes, but then they have to show Nigerians actually in the principles of accountability and transparency what all these monies that have been repatriated back into Nigeria are being utilized for, before Nigerians conclude that they have been misappropriated again. Especially if you look at this watery argument, that characterized the signing of this agreement last, the watery agreement, that characterized the event of last Friday. It's really unfortunate. It's very shameful to say that the money is not coming to us, and then we give to World Bank to provide raw electricity. That is to show you that if indeed that was true, that is to show you that the Western world does not trust Nigerians. From leaders to the followers, does not trust Nigerians. That is to tell you that Nigerian government is not doing what it should do in the fight against corruption. That is why they are saying, let us manage the monies for you, just like babies. But I have my own doubt anyway, because it doesn't make sense to me. And then you remember there was also $153 million that was discovered by EFCC from and recovered from Diziani Somadoke also, yes, by EFCC, and the 80 choice properties also, which the senior advocate of Nigeria, I won't mention name, went to court and was asking the court to revise its decision to empower EFCC from recovering this fund. That's another abuse of the judicial process. That is another abuse. That is why we keep saying that the Nigerian justice system is criminal. How can you after, months after that, or even years after that, you go back to the court and say you should resign a decision that the 153 million US dollars and the 80 choice properties should be returned to Disney Alison Madoke. Our lawyers are not really helping matters, and they are number one in abusing the Nigerian criminal justice system. Honestly speaking, if I'm not taking much of your time,
sorry, go ahead, sir.
Each time I sit down and look at happenings in Nigeria today, I feel like shedding tears. The way our leaders are just stealing money here and there. I recall with nostalgia, or rather we read in history that we had a Minister of Petroleum Resources, the late Namasanin Kanu, who was 39 years old, 39, young, ambitious and energetic, with family in Lagos, Minister of Petroleum Resources and Energy put together. And if I say petroleum resources and energy, I mean including power, for good 7 years, for good 7 years, from 1959 till the first coup in 1966. This man left office without stealing one kobo. This man had to borrow money to transport his family from Lagos to Kano after the 1966 coup. As a matter of fact, he traveled in 1953 to UK, and the British Petroleum gave him £5,000 check to bring to Nigeria to help the young independent Nigeria settle. And Nigeria haven't discovered petroleum at that time, 1953. When he brought the check, £5,000, to his principal, the Prime Minister at that time, Sabo Kataba Abelewa in Lagos, Sabo Kataba Abelewa told him that he should return the check the following morning back to British Petroleum in UK, that Nigeria did not need their money. And he did that. After the 1966 coup, he had to borrow money to transport it. He didn't convert the £5,000 to his own name. And that time, even the pound was not even valuable. The naira was more than the pound in value that time. And we knew very well that up to 1983, naira was stronger than the dollar by 2 times. You understand? This man did not. Looking at his position, Minister of Petroleum and Power, that is talking about electricity, for good 7 years. He did not steal one kobo. He did not dig trenches in his house in Lagos to hide dollars. He did not. You know? So that is to tell you that there is a really, really value gap. The leadership, the difference is just too alarming. One feels like crying, compared to what is happening today. Actually, the government has to explain what they are using this money for.
We agree with you, and seriously, this is very disheartening and very worrisome, disturbing actually, because with the history you're bringing now, comparing to what is happening now, something is wrong somewhere. Seriously speaking, having a Minister of Petroleum and a power in that position for 7 years, and yet to have even borrowed money to transport his family from Lagos to the northern part of this country, something is wrong. Yeah, we read a lot about I'm talking about the Golden Voice. I think, is it not the same person, the Golden Voice?
It's the same man.
Yes, we read a lot about him. These are people that represent our country at a global level, and they really do well. But now we can find kind of character.
So the Nigerian government has a lot of public relations to do. And when I say public relations, I mean image cleansing, not just propaganda. Image cleansing, real image cleansing. They have to explain to Nigerians where these monies are going. When I was in service, when I was in ICPC, I would be going from one corner to another, preaching the fight against corruption, and people will be laughing at me, because people retire from service for good 2 years, and they are not even given their lump sum, pension lump sum under the contributory pension scheme. That is, you are telling those who are in service still to continue stealing. All this process of verification from pension fund administrators to PENCOM, release of money by federal government, Office of the Accountant General misappropriating IPPS money as we read recently. All these now borders on the frustration of the pension process. How can you imagine somebody who has not stolen money, somebody who worked hard for the benefit to fight corruption, will sit down with his family, for almost 2 years, without even the lump sum, all because of all these bottlenecks and long, painstaking, bureaucratic process.
Let me ask you this question. We've seen where, like the Abacha loots, like we said, and the one of Maduke that we're just talking now. Is there, maybe, do you have any history or record that even there are some other African countries, whether, because we do say Nigeria is giant of African, there are some other African country leaders that's, okay, fine, let's come and keep so amount, or let's have a deal with Nigerian government or keep some money. Is there any situation like that in this part of our African, so what's it called, continent?
I can't remember any African country, that approached Nigeria, to sit down and reach that kind of appalling agreement. That is not to say that Nigerian corrupt leaders don't stash monies they stole in some African countries. But I really cannot think of any African country that has approached Nigeria with this kind of demand that okay, we have your money, let's keep it for you, let's do business for this. Switzerland, look at Switzerland now in Europe. Switzerland, they're very happy for Nigerians to be stealing the money and be sending to stashing them in Swiss bank. Why? Because it provides them the opportunity to utilize the money, and develop their own economy. Look at how gullible Nigerians are. You steal Nigerians' money, you stash it in Swiss bank, and Switzerland is happy to utilize the money and develop its own nation, while you pauperize your country, and even members of your family are not aware of how much you have stolen, and that is how you will die. Nobody will know that you have any account in Europe, in UK, in Swiss bank. Let us pressurize the UK to dispense with this court issue surrounding the Ziani Alice and Maduke, and let her come to Nigeria and face judgment also, because she has a lot of cases to answer in Nigeria. All this the dialing in UK, just like in the case of the James Ibori case, I think should not fly. I think it's just a way of buying time so that Nigeria will forget about the Zini case in the home front. I think we should pressurize UK government to dispense with this case so that this woman come to Nigeria and face the music also. We are waiting for her.
But then, since you said it's likely the UK and our government has something, but we are not sure, we're not speaking categorically. But looking at, I was going through some of the things she has acquired and some of the things that has been repatriated. Just as you said that the government needs image cleansing, right? In 2015, there was an accusation on her of $20 billion from the Nigerian National Petroleum Council, that's NNPC, and an unauthorized awarding of multi-billion naira contracts. And then also in October 2015, the same Alice Madueke was arrested in London by UK's National Crime Agency on suspicions of bribery and corruption offense. Subsequently, Nigeria authority raided and sealed her residence in kleptocracy asset recovery. They seized an asset worth $145 million, which was linked to her, also including $50 million, which was also linked to her, to an apartment that she owned in New York properties in California. Also, she linked to her name is also an $80 million that was also linked to her. January 2025, that's what happened previous. That's the topic we're talking about, the case we're discussing. Now, they have repatriated $52.88 million. How do you think, and then you made mention that it's likely that there is something going on between the federal government and these international agencies, for them to come out to say, this is what I want this is what I want Nigeria to use this money for, which we feel shouldn't be done. How do you think that the government should be able, how do you think the government can put stronger measure in the sense that international partners cannot come to detect the spendings of repatriated funds or looted funds? What do you think we should do to enhance that accountability and transparency so that we can gain our freedom? Because right now, for them to come over to say, this is what I want, this is what the money should be used for, I don't see Nigeria having such freedom. So what do you think the government can put in place in order to gain this freedom, so we can be able, because a lot of money has been repatriated, a lot of money has been gotten back, a lot of stolen funds have been returned, but we cannot account of what the money has been used for. Nigerians, the ordinary man, cannot say, oh, so amount that was repatriated was used to develop states, was used for this, was used for that. So what do you think the Nigerian government should do to ensure that we gain our freedom as regards to international partners?
Thank you very much. Nobody is holding us hostage, but our leaders are tying us to the knuckles of the Western nations, because they have their own investments also. They want to secure their own investments. Nobody is saying Nigeria does not have the powers to retrieve its own, to get what belongs to her. There is this international cooperation existing between Nigeria and the US government, and it was on that basis that they were able to help Nigeria recover this money. And like you said, all these narrations that you mentioned from 2015 were right, and that was what accumulated to the discovery of this paltry sum. I call it paltry sum because even in your own narration, you mentioned some $50 million here, $50 million there in UK and other places. As far as I'm concerned, $52.8 million is a paltry sum. It's the tip of the iceberg. Nobody can stop Nigeria if we want to. We are an independent nation, recognized by the United Nations. We can go to any length to fight the American government, to give us back our money to the last trouble. Nobody say don't have the power. Where in the World Bank law is it stated that if we recover any money from you, we'll give to World Bank to run to utilize for you? Which law provides for that? We are just folding hands because of the gains we are going to make and the investment we have in such countries. And unless Nigerian government comes out to explain in clear terms why all this obnoxious agreement signed on Friday, it's really appalling. Nigerian people will be left with no choice but to assume that there is personal interest going on. So while on one hand I congratulate Nigerian government for making efforts at least to recover, not just sitting down while the monies are being looted and all this, I still don't understand why we should allow some foreign agencies to utilize monies on behalf, as if we are just bees. We don't know what is good for us. Talking about designing, let me cast your mind back to Goodluck Jonathan's time. Actually, designing happened to be one of the ministers that had the largest latitude in the Jonathan's administration to do anything she liked. Look at remember the reason the American government explanation was that she awarded phantom contracts. You understand, just like you said. So that characterized that administration, and also that was the characteristics of our ministry at that time, and I said in particular. And then it was during that time that contract of 40 billion naira was given for the protection to one Tampolo, for the protection of our pipelines. You understand? As if we don't have soldiers, we don't have the marine soldiers to protect our pipeline. The money was released, or the contract was being handled directly by Disney. We have stories whereby Tampolo himself visited the And I was told that he brought cash, and he insisted that it was cash. In fact, not even in naira, but he must be given dollars. Now, that incident, that story is being told up to today. So you see how the Zani was given the latitude, the powers, the privilege, to play with money anyhow at that time, and that was what gave her the audacity and the temerity to be awarding phantom contracts. And it's not only Dizanio, there are a lot of Dizanis, even in this administration, that the government, the Buhari administration and the present administration, that this administration has to do, has to carry, has to take strong measures to punch them out if they really want to safeguard their integrity and do the image cleansing that is necessary.
But sir, how did Nigeria get to this point where that all of this, it wasn't made known yesterday? It has been in the news from 2015, some of the things that she has been doing. How did Nigeria get to this point where one person, using her as a case study, because we know that there are other persons that has been looting Nigerians' phone. How did Nigeria get to this point where, regardless of the EFCC, the ICPC, and every other anti-corruption bodies we have in Nigeria, how did they let it escalate to this point where someone is embezzling this much? How did we get to this point, sir?
Me and you know that there are anti-corruption agencies in this country that are ready to do their work, but they are not being strengthened. The political will is not there. The genuine desire to eradicate corruption at the top is not there. The anti-corruption officers, the poor anti-corruption officers would be putting their lives at risk, to tell people to stop corruption and recover looted assets, only to look upstairs and see that worse corruption is taking place. You understand? So the problem is leadership. The problem is leadership. We have bad leadership. We have to tell ourselves the truth. The leaders should stop being selfish. The leaders should look at Nigeria as a nation, and the love for this nation, should supersede the love for their own personal self. The selfishness in Nigerian leadership at the moment is just too much. From councillor to the president, nobody loves this country. They only love themselves. That is the fact. So anybody that contests this is only deceiving himself. Me, I come out to say it as a free Nigerian. I'm not speaking on behalf of any government agency, but that is the truth. It's the leadership gap that we have, and then the followers also they see corruption and condone corruption and look the other way. If it doesn't affect me, it doesn't matter. That is our own attitude as an average Nigerian. And then there is also the question of poverty. That the leadership has been using as a weapon, to shape, to force Nigerians by force into shaping in. Nigerians are struggling, to eat at least once a day, looking for something to eat at least once a day. Who has the time to look at what is happening upstairs? You understand? Right now, I cannot even come to this the studio. I mean, because as a retired person, I cannot imagine fueling my car with 25,000 naira to come and sit down and give media interview. Where is the money coming from? I'm a retired person, and I'm telling you that even today I've not even received my lump sum. Not to talk about the monthly pension. More than 1 year after retirement, what kind of leadership are we having? Messing up everywhere. Ministries, agencies. Look at the IPPIS, for instance, that is supposed to be in charge of all this release of pension funds to PENCOM, from PENCOM now to all this. For goodness sake, when we talk about pension, we are talking about people's money deducted from their own salary. It's not favor they are asking for. It's their own money that was deducted from them, and you are telling the retired person to go and die. What message are you sending to the person who is serving? What message are you sending to the person who is serving? You understand? So there is leadership gap in this country. The selfishness in leadership, and then the I don't care attitude of the led is what is frustrating the fight against corruption.
Well, thank you very much, Alhaji Muhammad Ashir Baba, for your insightful contribution on this. Okay, you're okay.
So we just want to ask this final question before we draw the curtain. What do you think would be what message do you think this development will send? Because we know that this is it's a welcoming event, something that Nigeria has done. We applaud them for that. But what do you think this development send to corrupt officials and those who might be tempted to engage in illicit activity?
To say that is just like oversimplifying the issue. It's a simple thing the simple issue of deterrence. You understand? Okay. But then, I wish deterrence works in Nigeria. Does it work? That's why I say we are just oversimplifying the thing. Only those who are arrested and prosecuted are corrupt. There are so many corrupt people that are beyond or above the law, in this country. So no matter what, even if we have millions of discernees in this country, corruption will still take place unless we introduce, we review the anti-corruption laws, if we incorporate capital punishments, like in China, so that people will now sit up and nobody should be above the law. But if you look at the top, it's rotten. The middle is trying to emulate the top. The bottom is trying to survive. What kind of country are we running? So to respond to your question directly, it's a given that once you see somebody punished, you should actually take to a heel. In Hausa we say, when you see the beard of your partner on fire, you have to smell water on your own so that your own does not catch fire. But that is just a simple balance, and it's really a given kind of. But does it really work? That is the question. You understand?
We hope that things would really work out well in our country. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us and shedding so much light on this sensitive topic. We hope that, just as you said, there will be insane and the other thing would go and smoothly. Thank you very much, sir.
Not propaganda. Yes.
Well, I must say this again before our guest to the studio. Is that, so why is it that, Miracle, if I may ask, why is it that your gender this kind of act? You people should be a mother.
Sorry, Mr. Shitu, I don't think you should bring gender issues to this topic. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with.
If you allow please, I have an answer.
Minister of Humanitarian.
Whatever a man can do, a woman can do it better, including.
I'm sorry, right now, sir, I think you're really on your own. We won't go into the debate of who does smelling laundry better. I think it's the female or the male. So thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Become something else.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us today. All right, sir.
So let's have our newspaper. After this short break, we're going to be having our newspaper review before we move to the next topic, and which is controversies behind the newly elected Alaafin Oyo. But let's quickly have our short break, and then we come back for our newspaper review.
Welcome back from that short break. This is the newspaper review. We'll be looking at the Nations. The Nations newspaper, please.
Okay, before we okay.
All right, so on the Nations we have Tinubu's reforms save Nigeria 930 billion drive recovery, which is what we've been discussing about. On the top left of our paper, appeal court vacates order nullifying Sanusi's appointment as Emir of Kano. We have on the top right, the U.S. returns $52.8 million seized from Madueke's account. That's really sad and appalling. And just down the newspaper, we have kidnapper twins. How we adopt our victims, dismember their bodies for sale. It is really appalling that things like this is still going on in our country. Even though our president has ensured or assured us that he's going to take a look at security in our country. We have Obasanjo. I landed in jail because I couldn't keep my mouth shut. We hope other people or other presidents will not land anywhere. All right, so let's just move to the next newspaper, which will be our last newspaper review. All right, The Punch. Wave of terror, new attacks plunge 10 states into anxiety. Subscribers demand telecom service overhaul ahead of traffic hike. We know that many people have been really discussing about the traffic hike of telecom, but we hope that there will be solutions to that, a solution to this.
Very soon.
Corruption responsible for Africa's debt burden, says Obasanjo, just at the top left side of the paper. Just by the side, we have Kano Thrones. Emir Sanusi secures victory against Bayero as appeal court overturns Justice Lyman's verdict. Thank you very much. This is all we can take for the newspaper review. We'll be going on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll be having a very interesting topic, and you don't want to miss it. This is the Politics and Business TV. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.
If I to say the last lap on this morning show program this morning, we are going to be talking about a context behind the newly appointed Alaafin of Oyo. We're talking about Prince Abimbola Akeem Owade, by His Excellency, the Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde. You know, like I said, it's a royal storm unpacking the controversy surrounding the selection. I use the word selection of Prince Akeem. Why do we use selection? You know, normally it should have been in its traditional seat and a traditional position. There is a process in which, you know, every tribe every tribe has the way in which they install their leaders. It's not a political appointment. It's a traditional seat, and there must be a process in which you're going to do. So it was yesterday afternoon around 10 a.m. when the governor through the Commissioner of Information, and now the newly Alaafin of Oyo, the last Alaafin of Oyo died 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and since then there's been this battle of who is going to take the next seat. The seat of Alaafin is very big. We have Oyo Empire Miracle, and when we have Oyo Empire, we also have the Benin Empire. These are a very serious seats that not just anyhow can just decide or think that they should play with it in the name of politics. Well, since the announcement yesterday, a lot of rankers and eyebrows have been saying, no, we don't want this, we want that. So that's why we're going to be looking into this topic and to bring somebody. I'm talking about Professor Isaac Akintola. He's the president and chairman of NURIC, Nigerian. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, nice having you in our program today on Politics and Business Television. Yes, it is all about
the royal storm that's behind the newly appointed Alafi of Oyo. I saw a release this morning saying that you rejected this position. One, are you, if I may ask, are you from Oyo State? Oh, I think we're going to have him back. Miracle, this is a very, like I was saying, this is a very a serious discussion, because since yesterday I can tell you. Do you have Prof back? It's a very serious, topic, because since yesterday they've been having issues. It has to do with religions. It has to do with no. Okay, Prof. Good morning. Good morning, Prof. Yeah, I said I saw your press release this morning rejecting the newly appointed Alafi of Oyo. Are you from Oyo State, Prof?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I can hear you.
Hello, I think this audio is very poor. I can't hear you clearly.
Okay, let's come back, and we're going to look into that, and we have a smooth communication now. I think we are going to put a call on Prof to substitute the other means of communicating with him. Well, we're still having some technical issues, maybe it's network issue that we're still having. Yeah, so good morning, Prof.
Good morning, sir.
A quick one. I just have a question that, are you from Oyo State?
You mean as an indigent?
Yes.
Okay, no, I am from Osun State.
Why are you rejecting the newly appointed Alafi? He's not in your state.
I am a Nigerian citizen, bona fide Nigeria. And our organization is a national body, not a state organization. I'm not fighting for my state. We are struggling for the liberation of Muslims throughout Nigeria. Whether Igbo, whether Hausa, whether Yoruba, a Muslim is a Muslim. That's so different. And the oppression of any Muslim anywhere is the oppression of Muslims everywhere.
That is where I'm coming now. People will definitely see your observation, the intervention in any affairs. That why is it that some even tag you as a religion bigots?
Come again?
Some people see your intervention in national issues that you are an extremist. Whenever it comes to religion matters, your views always take a negative side.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Those who think or who comment negatively about us, those are our detractors. They are our oppressors. They are the ones who are persecuting the Muslims, and they don't want any voice to oppose them. They want to ride freely and sit on the necks of the Muslims, with nobody complaining. We are here to complain when you persecute Muslims. You have to deal with us first. They want to silence everybody when they oppress Muslims. They want to take all positions. They want to occupy all ministries. They want to take all jobs. They want to deny Muslims.
Whose fault is that? You're saying they want to take this, they want to take that. Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that? It is the system. Because the system
that your previous president was a Muslim, the current president now is a Muslim. And you're saying the system. I don't understand the system. If we are to count the leaders of this country, we will have number of Muslims than the Christians.
We don't look at officials from their religious background. We look at them from their performance. In any case, we're not talking about the leaders now. We're not talking about the president, whether the former or the present. It wasn't the president who opposed the implementation of Sharia bank or Islamic banks. It was the Christians. It was the Christian leaders who were not in government. It was Khan. So you can't blame a Muslim president for that. When we wanted to introduce Sukuk, an economic system, it was the Khan, the Christian literati, who opposed it. It wasn't the Muslim president. So whether it's the Christian president or a Muslim president, whoever will not look at issues objectively, fairly, and give to the right and the left as they are as due, and evenly and equitably, is an oppressor. And that's why we are on this issue of Sharia, and proper treatment of proper appointment of the Alaafin of Oyo.
Let's talk about this. Let me ask you this question. You're talking about the oppressed and the oppressor. I'm talking about the newly Alaafin. The newly appointed Alaafin yesterday is a Muslim as well. His name is Abiaki.
No. That's too general. How you cannot be sure he's a Muslim? Did you catch him in a mosque yesterday?
Okay. Or
did he pray with you this morning?
Have you seen your own candidate in the mosque? Do you see him? Because if you are opposing this candidate, that means that you have another candidate.
In the mosque. He is a Muslim and we can vouch safe for him.
But the new Alaafin that we're talking about, the governor just appointed yesterday, is also entitled to be in that position. Why the religious?
Don't put words in my mouth. I've not actually said the new Alaafin is not a Muslim. I've not said that. You did. I said we know the man Badigasi who was selected by the kingmakers. He is a Muslim and he's still a Muslim. We know him very well. But this one we are yet to confirm. We are still profiling him. So, but the man who appointed him, Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, who picked him, knew where he knew him. Just as he knew where he knew Archbishop Ladigbolu, whom he wanted to pick before. Just as he knew where he picked the Shawu for Bomashaw, pastor from the United States, a pastor of the Redeemed Church, whom he imposed on the community. So, it's Makinde who is shopping all around for Christian kings to impose on the Muslim.
Don't forget that before these people be in position of their forefather throne, the late Alaafin was a Muslim. The late Sawun was a Muslim. The late what's it called? Asayi of Asayi was a Muslim. The late this was a Muslim. So is there anything wrong if they have a Muslim? As far as they are also from the royal family, why this concern? Are they not entitled to this position?
There is a process. And Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, has not been following due process.
What do you mean by that?
In Oyo today, Oyo Alaafin, the kingmakers, the Oyomesi, had selected Mr. Badigasi, a Muslim, 2 years earlier. And Makinde refused to approve this nomination until he shopped around, kept asking people to bring more candidates because he was bent on imposing Christians in the palaces of Yoruba land. That is what Makinde is doing. That is his agenda. So the process is on. We are still profiling this new Alaafin.
eventually the new Alaafin happens to be a Muslim, what will be your next actions or plans on this matter?
If eventually he is a Muslim, or if eventually he is a Christian,
yes,
does it actually concern us? No. What we are talking about is the law, due process. There is a case in court. Excuse me. There is a case in court, and it is sub judice to take any action on the matter once the case has not been disposed with. And that's what Makinde has done. Impunity, lawlessness. Lawlessness in its highest order.
Let me put this to you. In Ogbomoso, in the same Oyo State, the kingmakers chose Prince Obagandi Olawi. It was a unanimous agreement among the kingmakers, and that was exactly what Engineer Seyi Makinde, go with. Now,
that was in Ogbomoso.
That was in Ogbomoso. Now,
are we quarreling with that?
I'm just asking because I know there was a time you also have one or two options of people or Muslims around the community were saying that they don't want him. There's a one or two. Well, that is not what we are.
Listen. Look at what Oba Gandhi has been doing. A former Redeemed Pastor Church. He has been attempting to control the Muslims in Ogbomoso. He has been attempting.
These are allegations. You have a proof.
Behaving as if he is the employer and hirer of the chief imam of Ogbomoso. He wrote a
the chief imam of Ogbomoso was to ban in the palace of someone of Ogbomoso. So automatically, directly or indirectly, he employing the chief imam of Ogbomoso.
No way. This is very misleading. The media should not have this kind of mindset. Where is it written in any law?
We saw the appointment letter.
Did they appoint the bishop? Did they appoint the pastor?
That is the way the Christian. No. Don't let us also mix it, and we shouldn't be speaking from emotions. Now, that is how the Christian bodies want to arrange their own leadership.
No,
it has been in the history of Yoruba land that any chief imam will be generally appointed by the king of that community.
If you invite me for an interview, you speak politely. Respect the Muslim community. Respect we Muslims, please. You cannot say the king has power to appoint an imam.
I'm trying to give as little as I am. I have a student of history. We know that the Christian body does not. The king or the monarch does not interfere in Christian association. But in the Islam, in Southwest,
you are following history. Is it supported by law? It is emotions. It is sentiment you are following.
I'm not following sentiment.
Does the law support it? If a Muslim community rises today and says, we appoint Lagaja and Lagaja as our imam, is there any law the king can use to stop it?
But you agree with me, Prof. No. Let's be on a neutral ground. You agree with me, sir. You are a father. You definitely agree with me that what I'm saying is true. Now, it is now the right of the Muslim. Okay, what I'm saying, let me repeat myself, Prof. What I'm saying, let me make it clear to you again. Me, as little as I am like this, I've seen situations whereby, the community can say, okay, come and be our imam, especially when it comes to the community mosque. I'm not talking about private mosque. I'm talking about the community mosque or the village mosque. It is the king in that community that we definitely give the certificate to the newly, imam in any community. Prof, we agree with you on that. Now, it is the right.
I don't agree with you. Okay. It is erroneous. It may be practiced sometimes, but that does not mean it is the correct.
Okay, let me not talk about that. We are speaking at the moment. The Alaafin the Afi Alaafin or your kingdom. Now, for the past how many years now, they've not have a chief imam. They are waiting. The last time they asked, they say they are waiting for the new king to come to install it. So in this situation, what will you say in this situation? If you say that it is not the king that installed imams.
You have not read our press release of this morning. We have asked the Muslim community to go ahead and appoint their imam. It is conservatism. It's the issue of this people being
But you are just saying that because of the development of the new king. You people are saying that the new king, eventually, given the staff and the certificate, he will definitely be in charge to appoint the new imam. That's the reason why you are releasing the statement this morning.
It is you and your media house that is afraid. Muslims don't fear anything. We go step by step. We are strategic.
Okay.
And now the people of Oyo, the Muslims of Oyo, want to appoint their own imam by themselves.
Oh, I wish them all the best. But
you support them.
Okay, Prof, now before we go now, because I'm trying to bring the little history that I know about the way things have been done in Southwest. But it seems that, well, I want to argue with you on this. Yes, I also because I'm on this seat, and I should, I'm start arguing with a father like you. I won't do that. Yes, you are a prof, and I know you have history there with you. But like I said earlier, it is the duty of the Muslim community in Southwest to take the decision and to stand on what they want to do. Because the example I just gave now is, if not for the press release that you just said, which I have not seen, that you say that the Muslim community should go ahead and appoint a new imam. Now, on your town, I've been suffering for chief imam for the past 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Now, and the last time I heard about it was like they are waiting for the new king to come. So eventually, if they couldn't get a new imam, definitely this new king would definitely be the one to also appoint the new chief imam to that.
You see, let me correct one impression. Whatever happens, no king in Yoruba land appoints the imam anywhere. What they do is, the Muslim community, the Afars, the Islamic scholars appoint the imam. And the king only plays royal role of course, honoring, gracing the occasion. It's as simple as that. And the king cannot remove the imam. You remember the controversy surrounding attempts by the Shah to remove the Ogbomoso chief imam.
Yes, I thought.
They resisted it. The people of Ogbomoso came out in protest. And of course, the Muslims will never allow that. So, kings don't appoint imams. It is not their duty. It's not their schedule. It's the Muslims who appoint. They only invite the king to honor, to grace the occasion. In any case, it is coming, our revolution, peaceful revolution, enlightenment, eye-opening, coming now. And the Muslims are saying they want to appoint, they will appoint their imams by themselves, and they will not invite any government official.
Okay.
Don't forget that even Murik has been advocating for a situation whereby the governors play no role in the appointment of obas and kings in Yoruba land. No, throughout Nigeria. Governors are executive governors. They are there courtesy of a democratic election. But they are now becoming too powerful, too tyrannical, too dictatorial, and the constitution should be amended. The laws of the states, which empower the governors to appoint obas and remove them from the throne. Those laws should be repealed. They are tyrannical. So it's not the issue of religion alone. We want the governors to stop appointing kings. We are not against kings, but the kings also should stop sitting on the necks of our imams.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Professor. I would just want to ask, how do you think the Muslims and the non-Muslims organization, how can they work together to promote peace and understanding and development in Oyo State? Because we know that all of this is is for the interest of the citizens. How can both the Muslims and the non-Muslims work together to promote this peace, sir?
It is possible if they can stop mutual suspicion, if they can stop mutual fear of one another, and if they can jointly address the issue of inequality, poverty, disease, and such other things, if they can jointly pursue and struggle for the liberation of the oppressed and fight jointly for the enforcement of Allah given and fundamental human rights of Nigerian citizens. Take for instance this stampede that occurred in Abuja where 10 people died in the church, in the Catholic Church. In Ibadan, where about 32 died. In Okija, Anambra, where 20 died. If the Christians and Muslims rise and say, look, we know these philanthropists who try to help the poor, they wanted to feed the hungry, but it went wrong. There was no intention to kill anybody. And the Muslims and the Christians should rise up and say, no, we want those who have been detained to be set free. Nobody was detained in Abuja, for instance. Nobody was detained in Anambra. But in Ibadan, this same man that we are talking about, Governor Makinde, who is using iron fist to rule the state, sent everybody to jail. Oriyomi, a journalist, the head of the radio house, and Queen Naomi, who has been assisting people on a yearly basis. She does it, she has done it in every city, in all the states of Yoruba land. How can just one mistake, which did not occur, we did not happen because she did it with her own hands? Why can't Makinde show some human face in governance? This is an issue that Muslims and Christians should stand up and shout him down and tell him to release these people. It is cruel. It is tyrannical.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Just as we begin to wrap up the show, I want to ask this final question. What lessons do you think can be learned from this controversy? How can it be applied to future appointments and selections in Oyo State?
I think in future, whoever is the governor should follow due process. Makinde has broken the law openly and with impunity. This is executive recklessness. If subsequent governors respect the law and they are democratic in their dealings, they will respect whoever the kingmakers have picked. Makinde may not be a citizen of an indigene of Oyo. Even if he's an indigene, why must he have interest in a particular person? Why must he reject a man picked by the Oyomesi? He knows, the Oyomesi know their own people more than Makinde, more than the governor. They are the local people. And if the governor has stepped over their necks to overrule them, it is not done. So, and again, this can be avoided if our lawmakers, the members of the House of Assembly, if they will very actively act on the issue of repealing, changing the law on appointment and dethronement, the position of chiefs and kings. Take away the hands of the governors. Take that power from the governors, because they are using it in a wicked manner. They are riding the others. They are deposing those who have worked hard, and then they are imposing their own opinion.
Before we go, lastly, now I want you to state it clearly, sir. This issue of Alafi, Are you against this development based on the selection or what? In one sentence, sir.
It's the method of selection that we are rising against.
Okay. Not
the governor broke the law. We know, yes, anything the governor does because he has immunity. This is the problem with our country. Immunity. And people are reckless. Your governors are not obeying your laws. And they swore to protect the constitution. The laws are there. And they are kicking against the law. And nobody is talking.
Okay.
That's what it is, that due process that Makinde ignored, that we are kicking against.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul, for your insightful contribution on our program this morning. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. Well,
quite a controversial one, and I'm sure he was speaking from a depth of emotions, because you could just see emotions all over his face. What do you have to say about that?
This issue, when we want to start this topic, I say it's a controversial issue.
Exactly.
Things that have to do with religious, tribe. Everybody, in one way or the other. You as a Christian, I'm a Muslim. But look at the way the man is talking to me. Like it is me and my TV station that we are afraid of the process. But fine, it is our job. We have to do our job. And as a media man, you have to strike the balance to make sure that at least your viewers, your audience will definitely get to exactly what they want. Well, to me, Odessa is my state, and I know every single thing that is going on there. Even till yesterday, that was the new king was appointed. Yes, he was right with they are kingmakers. Your empire is not something you just start with. If you see reactions on social media since yesterday, yes, I know some people are saying it because of religious sentiment, while some people say no. I see some Christians that say no, they won't take it. Yes, there are some people their own point is because of religious, while some say no, they won't take it. Because the question he asks, and which I want to also ask the governor, why did you reject the first person that the Onomesi, there are 5 in numbers, the kingmakers, and they unanimously agree that let's go for this person. Yes, the person is a Muslim, but it's not, it's not something that is not clear. Is from the royal family. Why do you not stop it for the past 2 years now? Not until when you have not brought somebody else in yesterday. So that is the reason why these people are raising concern. But let's see how it lands. It's only Ibadan in the west, in southwest, that don't have issues like this, because you know why? You have to start. It's a process. It's not as if it's something you might not understand. But just go and read about how you become king in Ibadan. It's a very no any court case in Ibadan. Well, all that community, all that kingdom in all southwest, they would definitely have 1 or 2 issues. Even the king that died before this one 3 years ago, he said it in one of his tapes. I could remember. He said they went to court for 30 years. And the man spent like 47 or 43. Now you only have a rest of mind for just maybe 12 years or thereabouts.
Well, that's amazing. If we want to stay here, we'll continue with this topic for the next 5 or 10 hours. But because of our time, we'll be wrapping up our show for this section. Thank you for staying with us through this section. Mr. Shitu, as I would always say, what would be your last word to followers out there?
Keep watching and follow us on our various social media platforms, and we'll definitely be giving you what exactly you want.
All right, so thank you for joining us. I remain Miracle Obi. Regardless of whatever that is happening, I would always say let's remain positive, let's stay positive, and let's not put sentiment or religion into the progress of our nation and into the progress of your states or any other states. Until next time, please stay with us and have a wonderful day.